turned it off. Let me do it. Maybe I had to be the owner. So now it's off. All right.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. All right. I'm going to pass it off. Let me get the recording going. Okay, streaming and recording's going. It's all you, Mavi. I'm going to go get some work done on the crowdfunding campaign. I'll pop in later maybe.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Greg. All right, it looks like we've got a couple of people in here, and we're going to be having these sessions every week so that everybody has a chance to ask questions as they're going through and hear any special announcements. And, you know, if you get stuck, this is your time to get some special one-on-one. We're trying to do this in a group setting so that you don't have to wait to get an answer back. If you email, you can, you know, save all of that. So what I'll want to ask in a minute is to have you guys just made it in for your actual good job. I want to make sure that you guys have a chance. If you've got any questions, I also want to get an idea of how many people have actually logged in and done any setup with the LaunchCart CRM. If you've already gotten in there and gotten the ball rolling, you can go ahead and say, you know, I'm in. And if you have not set up anything, totally okay. I've got two different businesses that I'm onboarding. Please feel free to share that you are just getting started.
Well, oops, just getting started.
Just getting started. Lori, thanks for jumping in and being willing to share that. If you haven't set anything up yet, that's totally okay. I know that it can be overwhelming, and there's, you know, it is a big, powerful system that has a lot to go through. So that's why we wanted to go ahead and get these different trainings available for you guys. I just want to also have an idea of how many of you have never used a CRM before. How many people have never used like an email system or a customer management system or anything like this before? You've been using it, Joel. Good job. Awesome. Not yet, but your family has. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, Laura, you used autoresponders. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more familiar, I think, than if you've never used one before. This is going to help me to get, Francine, awesome. This is going to help me to tailor our lessons together. I do want to start with some basics just to go through some of the things that I want to give you guys as homework to do. I'm going to try to give you guys some action items and to get us to be more engaging as well. Not yet, totally fine. We all start somewhere, and I'll give you a little bit of a background on how I learned how to do this stuff. There was a CRM called Infusionsoft, and now it's called Keep, and it was very, very complicated. You needed a PhD in order to use it, and I was a dog walker that was hired as a personal assistant and dog walker. And one day my boss came over and said, I'm stuck and I'm not asking the right questions to customer service. Could you get on a phone call with me and maybe you can help, because you know you're a little bit more technical than I am. And I got on customer service and I had to call them every single day to finally figure out just how to send emails and do newsletters and things like that. So I was there at the beginning, had never even heard of an autoresponder before when I started, and I just asked a lot of really good questions. Awesome. I was about to build on Shopify, but I'm here to learn how to simplify it. Yeah, I was a Shopify user for a long time. I'm also switching over from Shopify to LaunchCart and from a couple of other ones that are, I'm about to switch over myself, and I'm an experienced user. So I'm really excited for that. Awesome. Well, I wanted to start off. I know that Greg likes to start with a mindset moment or mindset minute, and something came to me today. It was actually about an hour before this call, and it had me really thinking. And I had someone call me to ask me for help because their initial plan that they had to launch a sale coming up for, they wanted to test a sale coming up for Veterans Day holiday. So that's coming right around the corner. And their initial sales And their initial tactic that they had spent a lot of time and energy and they followed all the directions, it just completely flopped. It just didn't work at all. And they were coming very defeated and feeling like they wanted to throw in the towel. And so it made me really think about, when your first efforts don't work, what do you do? And how do you get yourself into the mindset of moving forward and trying again? And I like to remember that most of the biggest companies that are spending millions of dollars on ads, they actually have a budget built in for failure. So a lot of the people that you're following are learning because of their failures. And while you might not be in that place yet, I certainly don't have that massive budget for failure. It reminds me that everybody who's successful goes through that. And the best thing you can do in that situation is to take a look, reevaluate, make sure that you're measuring so you have data, and meet with someone if you're not equipped to be able to understand and interpret that data. So the phone call today was saying, hey, would you be willing to look at make an appointment with me and look at what you see that went wrong? Because another thing that I was reminded of was that when we're very close to the project or the product or whatever we're selling, sometimes we can't see some gaping holes or red flags that would have tipped somebody else off. And it's really important to get that outside view and have someone come in who maybe hasn't been so close to it and doesn't have as much emotional attachment. So I want to encourage you, as you go through this, as you're launching your products, as you're trying sales and you're really putting yourself out there, to remember that even when it doesn't go the way that you planned, you can get a lot of information out of your failures, and you certainly are not alone. And if you reach out and you ask questions, you'll find that many people might have made those same mistakes, or have different ways that they went about it from the beginning. And to really utilize, especially in this growth and learning phase, to utilize your team here and also your community. Launch cart is the future. I love that so much. Hey, Candace, how are you?
Good. Hi, Mavi. I just wanted to say hi, but also I love that mindset moment, because that's one of my favorite, I guess, teachings or advice, is that we're going to probably fail and we're going to be uncomfortable, but we can't get to the other side, unless we fail or go through the uncomfortable, because we have to grow. And how do we grow? We go through some growing pains. So I just wanted to chime in and say, I like that. I love that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's a hard thing to do. And it's often hard to swallow the pill and go, okay, this didn't win. I think that for me is the hardest part of it, is acknowledging that this might be a lemon. Nobody wants to hear their baby's ugly. But sometimes you got to go, okay, let's start over from scratch. And that's where I often say, have that person that's going to give you the honest opinion, no matter what, and tell you, what's going on there. So, awesome. Thank you so much for that. So I want to do a couple of things, just give you guys a couple of announcements, and then I'll go into some of the questions that we have. So one big announcement is that Wednesdays, this is your time to come in and ask questions. The next thing is, I would appreciate if you have questions that you need somebody specific to answer, or that we might need to do a little bit of research or get somebody on. If you can email those questions in advance, or go into that VIP section, you can email them to me, Mavi, M-A-V-I, @launchcart.com, or also into support. Those all go over, and Greg sees all of those anyways. But if you can send an email out, and we'll be a little bit more sophisticated and maybe get a form for you guys. But asking those questions in advance really helps us. There's no way for you to have done that today because we just started. But I want to give you guys that opportunity, that if you have something that you think might take the whole time, well, go ahead and get those in, because we can schedule that in and maybe do more in-depth class or a webinar specific to that as well. And then, of course, anything that pops up during these, use the chat function that we have right here. The next thing that I wanted to show you is that we are actually going to be, I'm going to share my screen. We are going to be making this accessible to you. If you can see, can everybody see my screen right now? You guys should see Digital
Yes.
Evolution.
I
Awesome.
see it.
Okay. So one of our sponsors and our good friends, Jeff, has a series of wonderful training videos on our CRM system. And rather than reinventing the wheel, we are going to use his trainings because that gives you guys access as early as this week. So you'll have a set of videos here. There's about 30 videos. The onboarding is going to be the most important. It's going to be a review of what we talk about here as far as the getting started things. So it's a good opportunity. I've been going back when I get stuck and looking at these different videos. It goes through, you know, making some of your connections, setting up your phone number, adding team members, etc. And then it also goes forward into some more advanced techniques. So I just wanted to let you know that we will be giving you guys access to that very soon. I think we might have just a couple of little last minute things to tie up there, and then we'll be able to get those to you. And I'll be sending out some emails that will remind you to go ahead and look at those and get your access and everything. So I am mentioned yesterday the training videos. Yep. Okay, good. So that's what I wanted to make sure that you guys knew was available to you. We're very grateful to have such a wizard as Jeff in our community, and for him to be so gracious as to say, hey, I have a ton of training videos that are exactly on everything that your people need. Why go through and make them wait for it? So we're very grateful for that. So I did see a question coming in from Joel, and I want to see what is your brand question. We might be able to answer it here. If not, then I'll make sure that we can get somebody who can answer it. So I'm going to go ahead and have you unmute and ask your question, please. Joel, are you able to unmute?
Is that working now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Joel.
I'll just read what I put in the chat.
Okay.
I designed and named my logo, and it's the general logo for my store brand. But I have a few subordinate product lines that I can use the same letters, but I use different descriptive names. And I just want to know if this is a good idea. Is it the bomb or is it a dud to do that?
Awesome. So this is a great question. And I actually have a business with my husband, and he designs products. Okay. So he designs tactical gear, and that might include camping gear or backpacks, as well as other security items and food items. And so all of those products are under one brand umbrella. And then we have different categories, but we also have different product lines under that. So he designed a Boy Scout knife, and it's called Hoffman Richter. And so we have a line called Hoffman Richter, and all those knives go underneath that brand. And then we have a security brand and tactical gear that's called Vortec, and it's like border tactical, and it's that's, you know, super beefy guy, you know, camouflage stuff, or really hefty duty. And then we have our food supply stuff, which is under a different line altogether. And all of those are under the same survival brand products. So what it allows you to do is it allows you to market those brands specifically, or those lines specifically, and then branch out. So I would agree to go ahead and do that. What you want to make sure is that you're keeping track of where your segments or your audience likes everything under the umbrella, you know, where they cross over and mix, and then where they're completely separate. And that's where it can get a little bit tricky. But I absolutely will go in and create different lines within the same within the same product umbrella.
Thank you.
Awesome. Does that help?
Yes, very much so. I think I'm on the right track.
Yeah, and I mean, we went from just having, you know, items that were being drop shipped to now we're building an entire warehouse to store the products and actually go out with a whole production and doing t-shirts and everything else out of an actual warehouse because it's been successful. And that's his wheelhouse. He talks about, you know, the different types of products and how they go together and when they should be completely separate. And when it's something that just doesn't fit, but it's a good idea, that's when he'll branch out to a completely different brand. But they're like cousins in the same family. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And so like we would have everything that we really felt that the BORTAC audience loved. We would put that BORTAC backpack or BORTAC vest or something like that to make sense. I'm not thinking of all of the different ones. I sold the Boy Scout knives for about 7 years. So those ones I could tell you, you know, probably 3 or 4 of them off the top of their head, but it also allowed us to really target our marketing and segment, which we'll get into.
Thank you for clarifying that for me.
Awesome. That's a wonderful question. I really appreciate that you asked that question. When it comes to things that are like, what are the best colors? That is a not Mobby thing. I leave all of that stuff to my designer husband. I don't make those decisions. I know what palettes I like, but what's awesome is that you can now go into a lot of the AI, and I actually will brainstorm different product names under product lines in my Chat GPT and my AI tools as well. And then I give them to, again, go into someone who knows more than me about it. And I say, which ones of these make sense, which ones don't? And then we go through from underneath there. So awesome. Thank you so much. Are there any other questions coming in?
Yeah, I saw one from Abel. I'm going to feature it. Can I add DBs, that database of contacts for different services I offer segmented on the CRM by brand or offer?
How would you answer that for this use case? Because I have different ideas on how to do that.
That's something actually I feel like I would be learning as well. If I'm
Okay.
understanding the question properly, like I am using my CRM, like one account with multiple lists. So I segmented mine by the smart lists. I don't know if that was the accurate way to go or.
Yeah, and I like to use tags. And then
Okay.
I use tags based off of the products that are purchased.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so that's one way to do it. You can look up everybody based on what offer they got or the different brand that they came in. But then I also like to segment based off of if they're purchasing a shirt versus they're purchasing a backpack, you know. If they came in under the tactical stuff or they came in under the security stuff. And all of those will be housed under my CRM, and I'll have the different brands, you know, segmented. The reason why I like to use tags and then I like to use the smart list because it helps us to create those broader segments and then get more specific is because I like to market to people that are going to be interested in a variety of my products and services. Okay, so Candace, if I'm a mom and I am wanting to learn how to make money online, that is a big wide area. And so what I might have come in on is launch links because it's a very simple tool. It's for free and everybody knows that we need to use use those. But I might not know yet that I need to do other things. I might not have any interest in doing a store, but I might be interested in the AI, or I might be interested in, you know, how do I run a sale on, or how do I be a Candace? How do I teach people? And so that's where you would want to make sure that you put people in the appropriate buckets.
Which that makes sense because, for example, so I have, you know, most of you guys know I have my merch store, Dope Mamas, which my audience is supposed to be targeting moms. But last Halloween, I launched a Halloween collection that was unisex and it wasn't just for moms. So that's where I guess tagging would be so important because I definitely would want to tag those, which I wonder, that's a good question, Ma, because I would want to tag those that they bought, the Halloween collection, because I wouldn't want to, email that collection like, hey, mama, even though maybe some of them are moms, but I actually went through the email, or the confirmations, and I can kind of tell I had a lot of men ordering because I had a lot of support from friends and family, and then of friends. And then I recognized some names that were not moms, but of course I don't know everyone who purchased personally. But that would be where tagging is important, because I wouldn't want to continue to email that list like mom products when they're like, oh, I'm a man, I don't have any kids, I bought this Halloween graphic because I loved it.
Yep, exactly. And then inside of, and this is getting a little bit, I think, ahead of the setup as we go into building like flows and communicating. Here, I'll go ahead and share my screen again and give you an idea of under contacts, how where a tag might be used. And unfortunately, this is an account that I was planning on sharing with you guys, just starting from the very beginning. Actually, if I show in our launch cart, we have tags already in there, right?
Yeah, and I know I have some tags on mine. I have been using the tagging. And what's cool too is, for those who maybe don't know or do know, when we launched the CRM, you are able to connect your launch cart store, and launch cart was able to push over any past subscription or orders. And launch cart is pushing over tags. So I'm looking in my CRM right now, and I'm looking at a few of my contacts, and it shows like Dope Mamas. So that came from Dope Mamas. And then another tag that I know is from launch cart is newsletter footer. So I know that launch cart pushed that over saying, hey, this email that's in your database came from the newsletter footer, and it came also from Dope Mamas, the store Dope Mamas. Because if you guys know, I have Dope Mamas, and then I have my other store, Launch Your Merch. So the tagging is important.
Yeah.
So Lori, I hope that's, while maybe you're pulling that up, Mavi, Lori, we're talking about the smart list and tags in the CRM. So the database where, the emails, phone numbers, the contacts would go into.
Exactly. So let me show you and kind of give a little bit more basic on, I'll go in. So let me bring in, I want to show you guys, and I'll share in just a second. Let me get to where I'm not fumbling around. Okay, share screen. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the businesses that, through our connection and just sharing a lot of Candace's content and the content that was already created before I was part of this organization, I shared over with my sister about. I shared with her the system and the CRM, and I was like, hey, you have a social media account that you've been growing, and it's called Grace Daily Devotional. It's got no website. It's got no products. It just puts devotionals, happy things, Bible verses, prayers, and things like that. So of course, after watching a couple of Candace's videos and consuming some of that, my sister says, I think I probably could make some products and t-shirts that people might buy that have Bible sayings or things like that, and be kind of like how Hobby Lobby has. And so of course I was like, well, let's go ahead and use you as a guinea pig, and let's set you up on the CRM. And so she hasn't done any of this stuff today yet. She's still got to connect her leads and everything. But you come over into settings on your CRM, and you come down here, you'll see that you have a navigation here that says tags, and hers is going to be empty. And so tags are, imagine you have a little post-it note that you can automatically put on somebody based on what their action that they took, what product that they bought, what door they came in onto your store. It's like a little digital marker and little post-it note that follows them around and allows for us to track them, measure, count, and make smart automations based on their actions. So one of the offerings that Grace Daily Devotional will have is a prayer warriors list. So people will be able to sign up and join a list of people that will be praying for other people. So if those people come in, I can create a tag and I can call it prayer warriors. Okay, and then I'll create that tag. And now I can attach that tag to anybody who comes in and signs up to be a prayer warrior through a product that they purchase, through a form that they fill out, through a text message that they say yes to. They can take a various different sets of actions, and I'll go through how we automate with tags and another training. So this seems like we really want to get into some nitty gritty. You guys are asking good questions.
Mhm.
And I can use those tags to create smart lists. So I can say, let's say we want to have another group of people that come in and they're women of faith. She's going to specifically market to women, men, different types of devotional. Let's say like she knows that there's a group of women that came in. So like you have dope mamas that might come in for Halloween or something like that, and there might be a male buyer. So this is a women. And I want to create a specific prayer group for women. I can make a list that says find everybody who has the tag called prayer warriors and everybody who has the tag women of faith, and group those people together and start marketing to them or sending them a newsletter. So that's where the tags help you get really into the nitty gritty of people, and you can start measuring, but it also can help you create bigger segments. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and then let me, just because I'm such a visual person, let me share my screen too, Mavi, and just show also where they can add the tags on the launch cart side.
Awesome.
So I'm going to share my screen, and then let me know if you can see my screen. I should be showing the back end of Dope Mamas. Do you guys see it?
Yes, we see it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, so as you can see, I'm in Dope Mamas. This is all of my merchandise from Printful, right, and Printify. So if I click edit, and this is why, you guys, when you're pushing products to your store, you're not done, right? I mean, I know you got the product pushed to your store, but it's important to come here, edit that description, right? Add them to the proper categories. And then right here is where you would want to add tags. And this is why, tags. So this is where, maybe Mavi and I can also sit down and coach on how you should be tagging, because this is important. And I know this because I remember when we used to work with Skinny Girl, the Bethany Frankel with the jeans, I was in part of that process of tagging and being very consistent and, spelling it properly if there's dashes, because you want it to load properly into your CRM correctly. So in this case, this is, motherhood. So I might, I still have to figure out my tagging sequence, to be honest, for Dope Mamas, but I would probably title this Mama Short Sleeve Tee. So then I know, it's a mama tee and it's a style is short sleeve, because eventually too in Dope Mamas, I want to launch a collection for aunties. And then the same thing, I would tag that collection aunties. So when you're creating these products, you want to make sure you're adding the tags, but being consistent. And then if I go to my CRM, I just wanted to show you the current tags that I have right now that I have created. So as you can see, I have a brand new blueprint ebook bundle customer. So anyone who bought my ebook bundle, I have a tag and I know who it is. Anyone who got my branding checklist from Instagram, I have a tag. This is just the Dope Mamas for my store. So I have a lot of tags. This is obviously going to grow, and I'm going to get better and better and be consistent. But I just wanted to show you the view from the CRM, but then also where you would add the tags from your launch cart store.
Awesome. Awesome. I really love that, Candace. And when, depending on what type of product or service you are using, your tagging convention is going to look specific to that offering. And so when you're doing a store, you know, sometimes you have a SKU and you might not need to add a tag with the SKU,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to make sure, my rules that I have for tagging, because tags in a CRM can become very cluttered, and
Yeah.
my rules are that they should follow a specific naming convention, and you need to be consistent with that naming convention. The second rule that I have is that they need to make sense when you look at it. It shouldn't be some code that you have to look up something else to know what it means. You should be able to look at it. Someone who hasn't been trained on your system should be able to look at it, and it should make absolute sense what that is with a very little explanation. So you might not know what the words are, like you might not have known what a CRM is, or there might be a couple of acronyms in there, but you want to be able to quickly identify what they mean. They have to be meaningful. And then finally, they need to be searchable. So you want to be able to search quickly for those tag names by typing in words that make sense. So if it's too much of an acronym and it's not something that you use all the time across the board, then you might have a hard time finding them later. And I really abide by these rules with tagging and with segmenting because it helps you to grow and scale. So when you're starting out and you've got 2 products, you know, you can be a little bit less organized, but what happens if you have a really winning campaign and you go from a couple of, you know, products and a few sales to thousands, which has happened to me before. I was not expecting to have thousands of sales overnight. I kind of freaked out. I didn't know how I was going to fulfill them. And I needed to make sure that everything was very organized. So those are kind of some general guidelines. I think that it's a really great idea to have upcoming. I'm going to make a note of that. Let's have an upcoming training that's specifically getting into that, you know, tagging. Will definitely show, like when you're doing it from the cart side, and then for me, when you're coming from the CRM side. So,
Yeah.
Joel, I don't know the answer to this question about feeding music into your store. Can you give us a little bit more clarity on what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Like in the
I know-
background?
I know you can add through custom CSS, you can add like a YouTube video onto like a homepage, and maybe even just a standalone page, and you might be able to get it to autoplay. But as far as if you're just saying like having kind of a little music player somewhere on the page and it just auto plays, it might be possible, but that would have to be through custom CSS. But something to note though, when you do something like that, I mean, there could be a chance that it might slow the side of your speed down. So whenever adding elements like that, you want to have that in the back of your mind. Like, is this going to, you know, take away from my store or really add to my store? Or on your about page. On your about page, like you could add a YouTube video, and I want to say, I was actually just building a page. There might be a button for, or it might be a feature for autoplay. But that's like embedding a YouTube video. As far as adding like a music player, once again, that would, I'm not sure I would reach out to Rio and see, but because I know that would have to be done through code. And that's not just like an element that's built in.
Yeah, I was remembering having that stuff in the code on MySpace.
Yeah. Oh my god!
But we used to put code in, and there used to be
yes.
music on there, and it was a big deal because it's kind of how you individualize. But another use case of that, Joel, I'm kind of with you on there, is like with the daily devotionals. We've learned that when we put an instrumental praise music on the content, that we have like a Bible verse or something, we've noticed that our views have increased by like 100 times, 100 to 1,000 times. So it's one of those things that I would absolutely want to look into, and I'll see if I can't mock that up with one of my pages for you, Joel.
Yeah. Wait, just I have to go back to that MySpace comment because that literally brought me back. And I used to, you guys, like I feel like I used to think I was a coder because I literally knew code, and I would like I was the go-to girl who was like, Candace, can you help me put music on my page? And I'm like, yes, I am that girl. And I remember at the time, I can't say which brother because he might get, but I had a brother and he had a girlfriend at the time who I thought was so cool. And I remember I found her MySpace page and she had embedded a song that had like some curse words. And I remember being like little me, like little me was like, oh my gosh, she's so cool. Like she's a rebel. Oh my gosh, Lori, MySpace so long ago. I'm like reliving it now. It's coming back.
So Francine
Okay.
said, oh, go ahead. Perfect. We're mind readers
Yeah.
today.
Yes. I added many tags on my products. Female versus male shirts are appropriately tagged, but not by individual shirts. Christian, mom or dad, and on and on.
Is it
So-
necessary or is it redundant to have a tag when there's also like the product there? I guess that's the kind of going to be the idea and question that we need to think about.
Okay, so let me just talk to you because it's too hard to type all this stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, perfect.
so tags, do they help with SEO or not?
No, they're internal, right?
Right now they're internal. Because if I'm correct, I could be wrong. I think that's how Shopify's tags work. I think they do help with SEO, but I could be wrong. But currently for launch cart, it's internal. That's why it's important to optimize your description and add whatever tags you're using, maybe integrating that within the description because that's part of the SEO. But the tags right now are internal.
Okay, and so they won't become part of SEO as far as you know in the future?
I need to double check on that. I thought that was a part of the plan. That's something I would need to check in. So I'll ask our dev team.
Thank you.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
what I'm understanding,
Go ahead.
what I'm
Francine,
understanding is that you're saying that you would put a tag specific for an individual shirt. In other words, because I named all my shirts, obviously, so I can find them. But so you're saying the tags for CRM would have that specific product or shirt name in it. Is that correct?
So for example, if someone makes a purchase on your store, right, that data is going to get pushed to your CRM, and that customer in your CRM is going to, and I'm going to go see if I can pull up, is going to show those tags. So it's important to, like kind of what Mavi said, to have that consistent tagging sequence, because if you want to email people who just bought just the Christian faith-based tee, you email just them. And if you want to email just the buyers who are men, you have that tagged. So my answer would be is to like, once again, we'll have to sit down and do a training on like the sequence, but I would for sure be titling like if it's a woman or a man, and then the collection. So if you have a faith-based collection, you have a mommy collection, a fishing collection, like whatever you want to segment into the collection. So if you want to email just that group specifically, that tagging matches.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Did that help, Francine?
Yes, thank you, Candace. That helped.
Yeah.
I have
and
a lot
that's-
of changes to make.
Yeah, and that goes to where a lot of so I've got a background in managing CRMs, more so than like Candace's with the t-shirts and things, and that's because I sold things differently. But when I would come in to help CRMs, especially with their speed, and to help wrangle in some of the, sometimes people built over the course of years with different managers and different people, one of the first things that I would do is I would do a lot of tag cleanup, because I would see that there were some times where they tagged so specifically, like women's large USA 4th of July flag shirt blue. It would get down to where I'm like, well, what of this do you need for segmentation and to make good marketing decisions? Are you needing to find every woman who bought a blue shirt because that's super important? Or do you need to segment by size? Is there another way to find those people because the product's already in there? So you want to be smart about it, and you want to make sure that it's not super redundant, but that it's helping you with your marketing. So if it's something that you're like, yeah, absolutely, I need to know everybody based on the nitty gritty, and I'm building these really sophisticated segmented, automations and things like that, you may want to do that. But I say to get the really important stuff, exactly what Candace said, making sure that you have the category, making sure if it's a male or female, making sure what type of product it is. That's, I would say, is necessary. And then as you get more specific, you not only are going to find that you're going to have 10 times the tags, but you're also going to find out that that segment is much smaller, and that you might find that you're grouping them together anyways. And you'll find that it gets tedious the more you grow. So you want to try to make it a judicious decision.
Yeah. Lori just asked, should there be a limited number of tags to a product, like only 2 to 3 tags?
Again, we would look at it and go, I sometimes will have, 5 tags, but I usually will have more categories. Sometimes I'll tag based on a sale that I'm doing versus the actual product. So I might have the basic 2 to 3 tags for the category, the type of person or whatever, the identification of what kind of person got it, and what kind of product it is. And then I might add in that that this specific shirt was bought through a Labor Day sale or something like that. And that would be more on like the sale that I'm doing, or a time frame or something like that. And again, it would be, how is this going to be useful? So for me, if I'm tagging everybody who purchased on National Daughters Day, okay, so we just had one of those random holidays, National Daughters Day, and we had parents that bought World's Best Daughter Candace t-shirt, of course, and then Candace also bought World's Best Daughter t-shirt for her daughter. And I would want to know that there's a group of people who buy stuff on that day for this random holiday, and I would probably send, hey, I've got a Mom's Day t-shirt, I got this or that. And so I will segment, and I will make tags based on sales that I do, just to find them later. But if you want to think about what is needed there, and I don't mind doing one of these calls where we go through one of your products and work through a tag. So I think what we'll do, Candace, is let's create a future one of these where you're available to go through on the cart side and then on the e-commerce, and then we'll ask you guys in advance who's willing to throw up their product and be a show and tell, and we can outline some tags for you guys. Does that sound like something would be helpful for you guys?
Yeah, let us know. Put you guys in the hot seat, as we call it. So I like the hot seat tag session. Okay, I see. Yes, great. Okay, so moving on to Abel's question, how difficult is it to build the e-com on your platform versus Shopify, and I can import products as an affiliate product? So I'll give my answer, and then Mavi, you can give your answer. I'm going to say over and over, it's much easier to set up a store on Launchcart because it's much simpler, right? And same thing, I used to be very involved with Shopify. And then of course, when my dad built Launchcart, obviously I made that switch as well. So I would say it's much simpler and easier, and it's more user-friendly because it's just so simplified right now. And then as far as Amazon products, the only way I've been able to work around to add those Amazon products as an affiliate product is by creating a page in my Launchcart store and linking and kind of creating images and giving them some descriptions. And then if you're driving traffic there and they're clicking on that image, it's redirecting them to Amazon with your affiliate link. So that's the only way I've done that. And I've done that for some clients in the past. One was a podcaster, and he just wanted to link his favorite books. But I always remind him and anyone in this industry, I get that idea and it's great, but now you're having them leave your site to now a competitor. So, but it is possible through a page, but not adding it as you can't sync the two.
Yeah, and I think that's exact the answer. I haven't tried to integrate or put products in on Amazon. I've had in my career the most success selling Amazon products through advertorial or blog post styles listicles, which is going to be very similar. So we create a page that lists out the reasons. Greg, do you want to chime in there?
I do, because
he's like, wait a second.
I'm like, no, this is the perfect thing to paint the picture for the vision and the future. So and I talked to Abel. Abel called our office on Sunday morning, and I answered the phone while I was walking through Albertsons getting some stuff for my wife. Anyway, so thanks for joining us, Abel. But the vision, which a lot of you don't know, is think of Amazon, and we want to create a marketplace, and it's called the Source and Sell Marketplace. And I visualize it being as big as Amazon, which seems kind of like the big, hairy, audacious goal, right? But imagine this marketplace, which is millions of products, and not stuff from China, real brands, you know, TaylorMade and Callaway's and Nikes and real brands, real products. And just like Amazon, it's there. You click a button, it's for sale in your store, right? So we're going to take the whole drop shipping world and disrupt it completely by doing this. We're adding banking as a service. So the idea is when you set up your LaunchCard account, you're going to get a bank account. And then when you go to the Source and Sell Marketplace to source products, you click a button and the product's in your store. When you sell a product from your store, you get paid your commission instantly, but the rest of the money that goes for the shipping, the taxes, and the cost of goods is all going to be taken care of automatically for you and go right to the brand manufacturer. So it's going to simplify drop shipping, and we're going to create our own category called on-demand e-commerce. And we're going to be the #1 in the world for on-demand e-commerce. Why? Because we created the category, right? But this is going to be very, very disruptive, which is why we're doing our crowdfunding campaign, and we're allowing investors to own a piece of the pie, because when we pull that off, we will attract millions of sellers globally. We will transform the dropshipping world. We'll get the real brands into the dropshipping game, and we're all going to have a blast doing it. So I just had to like jump in for that little commercial, because I thought, oh, that's such a good thing to jump in now.
I didn't know we were sharing secrets today. Greg.
Greg's always sharing. Just know Greg's always sharing secrets.
Oh my goodness. So
get ready for that
this
crowd,
is a
I'm back to work.
benefit
Bye,
of
everybody.
jumping on to these calls, because sometimes Greg tells stuff that I thought was in the vault and wasn't going to be announced yet. So you guys are hearing it before we've actually put it out there. But yeah, so right now, I think in general, it's been difficult for a lot of people to be very, Greg is on a trampoline. He's going to hit the sky every single time. I don't know if there's a guy I'd bet on, it's him. But it has been difficult for a lot of people to be successful with Amazon. It's very time consuming. It's one of the reasons why we started our own line of products that we now send to Amazon versus doing the drop shipping, is because it has been difficult, and we're very close to being the spot to go, which is one reason why I would recommend, and why I am currently moving systems, especially in brands that are very close to me and important to me that I manage. And I'm starting to get rid of other systems, other landing page and sales systems. I'm moving people in my family, as well as some of our internal businesses, from Shopify to LaunchCart. One thing that I'm finding is that I have a lot of resources and people that I can know through our partners program that can manage those people. I know that if I do not have time to manage and to teach someone, I have a community of trainers that can help get a cart launched. And it's not someone that I'm going to find randomly online. They've been vetted, they've been trained. I know that they've been trained by, one of a couple of people that I know and trust. And so that's why I'm moving from there. I'm also finding that it's a lot easier to train people on it as well.
Yes.
Ooh, Lori. Yeah. Sometimes, there's a lot of people who are going to do that, to be honest with you. I say go forward and do it anyways, and never be afraid of a copycat. Do it better. And when you can, so there's a verse that I like, not to put on my pastor hat, but I will. Nothing is new under the sun. And most of the time you're gonna, something's been done by someone. It's your opportunity to do a really good job and to serve your specific audience. And if someone comes along, and if you do have something that's original, you can, use trademarks, and you can use patents and things like that. And sometimes you're going to white label, or someone else is going to manufacture it, but you're going to put your spin on it, and you're going to market it, and you're going to sell. And that's something that I would encourage everybody to go forward and do it. And if they come around and copy you, you did a good job on it.
I have one comment I want to make with this. I think it's really important, because I used to have a friend, business partner, that worked with us, and he was selling jump ropes on Amazon. And he got this really cool jump rope from China, and he got SEO'd and got it going. And he was like selling 15,000 jump ropes a month on autopilot, twiddling his thumbs. And this story I'm telling you, I literally could tell you at least a dozen of people I know personally that this happened to. And like that person said, Amazon came in and said, hey, wait, there's all these jump ropes. They're number one in the category. Where are they getting these jump ropes from? Oh, China? Oh, okay. We'll go get those jump ropes from China, and we'll put them on and put them under our brand. And they literally, he went from doing, like 5 or 10,000 a day or some ungodly number. I forget what it was. And then the next day, zero. Like from zero to zero. And so the lesson is, you can use Amazon to generate sales, but you should spend your life getting them off Amazon and onto your launch cart store, off Amazon and into your launch cart CRM, right? Because if you use them for sales and they shut you off someday and you have the customer data, okay, yeah, whatever, right? But like him, he didn't have any customer data. In business, loving life, living the dream, no business overnight. And I can tell you dozens of stories like that. So that's why we tell people every Amazon seller should have a launch cart store. Every Amazon seller should start setting up a CRM. Every Amazon seller should start putting things on their packaging that drives them back to their website, giving them reasons to opt in on their site, because Amazon does not share that customer data with it's their customer.
Preach, Greg, preach.
Yes.
1,000,000,000% correct.
We got to
That's the
clip
reason.
that.
Another one of those reasons why, I did the same thing. And I used to sell vitamins and supplements and things like that before, when you could just do that all willy-nilly, and sold them on Amazon and drop shipped them because it was really, really easy to do. But I never had an opt-in there. So I ended up learning that's one way to do it and make less money. So,
and Candace mentioned it before, but I'm going to kind of add to what she said. Like, I talk to book authors all the time, and like, we're always giving Amazon the money to sell your books. And it's like, I ship my books out of this office. Like, I have a little machine over there, books and envelopes, and I ship them out. And, but if you create a landing page with your launch cart store and you promote stuff there, and they say, hey, opt in here, and you have a big button that says buy on Amazon. So I'm going to buy on Amazon. So the trust is over Amazon. But in the middle of that, you have a pop-up that comes up, right? And you capture their email because you've given them some ethical bribe that says, hey, I'm going to give you this bonus if you go buy on Amazon. You're going to buy my book anyway, right? And then you send the traffic to your page, the pop-up, you capture the database, then you send them to Amazon and they buy on Amazon. This does two things. One is you're creating a list of people that are buying on Amazon ahead of them buying on Amazon. Two, you're sending the traffic to Amazon, and maybe they buy, maybe they don't buy, but the percentages of the people that come to your landing page and then watch your sales pitch or watch whatever, and then click to buy on Amazon, it's usually like 7 out of 10 actually end up buying. And then Amazon sees that algorithm and goes, wow, this product's hot. 7 out of 10 people are buying, and it starts to give you more algorithmic love, and you start making more sales off their database and their search engines.
And that's actually something that I did with one of my clients who's actually, their account's growing right now on Instagram and I think TikTok. And they launched a digital dating game Okay, because that's how they kind of blew up. They met on Hinge, and it's like this beautiful story. So now they're out there growing, making great dating content and dating advice and stuff like that. So they created this dating game, digital, and then they had this graphic tee that they wanted to sell. So they launched it on Launchcart, but they also wanted to sell on Amazon because they wanted that traffic. But I was like, okay, we want them to go to your store, not Amazon. But they were just, okay, they're like, well, we want to do both. And I'm like, okay. So we did just that. We did a little pop-up on Launchcart. We created them a page, and it was like with their affiliate link, or maybe it was just their link to their product. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. This was a few months ago. But we basically said, hey, whoever buys this on Amazon and sends us a screenshot via Instagram or an email that you made this t-shirt purchase, we will give you, our digital dating app. It was either for free or for like $5. And that was another way to get them to go buy from their affiliate link or their product, by just also sending them a screenshot. Now they're getting their contact information and then giving them a coupon code to go buy something on their Launchcart store. So they're kind of growing both. And then what do you know, they wanted that Amazon product to get ranked up. So there's different strategies that you can do.
No, that's amazing. You got to show that off. You need to do a little case study for those guys and put it in the group, because that's an incredible case study. I got to go. Got an investor I got to talk to in a second. I'm going to put a couple links in because I'm the marketing guy. So Launch Shop's partner program is open up. We're opening up tomorrow night, closing down Sunday night. If you want to earn money building merch stores on our amazing platform, and where you can earn up to $100 to $200 an hour, you need to be on tomorrow's webinar with Candace and I. I'm doing something different I've never done before. The offer is off the charts. It's amazing. So that link I just put in there. And then we're doing another Launch Your Merch Challenge next week. So while we've been talking, I've just put together about 22 ad sets times 4. So 22 ad sets times 4 ads, however many ads that is, it's a lot of ads, 80 ads. And we're going to start driving a whole bunch of traffic into the Launch Your Merch Challenge coming up next week. So Candace can share that link, and we can get going on that.
I slacked you asking you for that link, so I don't know where that link is.
LaunchYourMerchChallenge.com.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, I don't, but we'll go there.
Okay. Talk to you guys later.
Remember, you just said you're the marketing guy, not me. You're the one who creates these pages.
Hey,
I promote the links.
You're supposed to be the little mini me.
I am on social media. You create them and send me the link.
All right. Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Candace.
Yeah. So just to recap, the launch, if you're like, wait, what's the Launch Shops program? Because I know we kind of mentioned it a little bit. It's just a program where it's a 7-week course, but you go through it at your own pace. And it's just more extensive training and teachings on how to use Launchcart, how to use the Launchcart platform, how to build stores. And then the second part of the course is how to get clients. And we do CRM training. We have more exclusive training. So if you are looking for, another a side hustle, or you want to replace your 9-to-5, whatever that may look like, join us tomorrow at the webinar. It's going to be fun. So we did share that link, and then I will get that challenge because Abel, when is that training? So that one's for Launch Shops tomorrow, but the Launch Your Merch Challenge, that's going to start next week, and I'm going to get that link for you right now. And this will be a 4-day Launch Your Merch Challenge. So we will be just giving you guys giving value, free training on how to launch your Launchcart store and get it set up. And then let me get that link up. Okay, so here's the second link. So first link is the Launch Shops. That's tomorrow. Second link is for the Launch Your Merch Challenge. And then really quick, I just wanted to circle back to the comment about like Amazon will copy and sell you out. It's kind of the same. It's like the same story, but not like, for example, I always show how you can find designs on Etsy, and I always get comments like, and I'm always like, oh, look at the reviews. If the reviews are well on this Etsy design, that means it's probably a good selling design, right? People are liking it, they're buying it. And I always hear, well, I don't want to use a design people are already selling. Like, I don't want to copycat them. I want to make my own, which I understand that. But sometimes we still want to do that market research. And if it, just like Mavi said, with just the CRM training, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't have to. So what sets, your brand apart is your voice. And your brand, the emotion that you are creating. So just like, for example, I'm a mom. I have my best friend, she's not a mom. She speaks more to the UGC followers, the user-generated content. She's all about travel, lifestyle, and vlogging. I speak to mamas, the e-commerce, print-on-demanders. So we might go on Etsy and find, a motivational graphic design tee, right? We both love it. We both want to sell it. We're really not in competition because we have two completely different audiences. So it's something to think about as well when you're creating designs, or maybe you are doing design research and you're like, I don't want to be the 20th person selling this, when in reality, people don't probably know. Like when they're on your store, they're not thinking, oh, I've seen this somewhere else. Like, or, it's like you are what sets your brand apart, what you're putting into your brand.
Yes, I think you guys got a bookend today on mindset. And I really want to say that I appreciate, I know we're going to finish up here, but I appreciate everybody being so active today and being willing to put themselves out there and to ask the questions. That's what this time is for. And then if you want to send me an email, put it in the subject line question, and then you can add the question there into the body of the email. That way I can create that filter and make sure nothing gets thrown into spam and prioritize that for you guys. And so we'll be meeting next week. You comment? What's up, Abel?
Hey, I'm not sure if you see me, but I'm trying to speak from my truck. Okay, so it's good to meet you. Hi, how are you? It's good to meet you guys. My question is, do you know what is driving us today to this web conference? Do you know there's a bunch of great stuff that you guys are putting together, but I want to know if you know exactly what is driving us to you. And the reason why I asked that question is because with so many good things that you guys are doing, it can be confusing. And so I think for some people, there's levels of understanding of already the CRM and the e-com. For somebody like me who was about to build on Shopify, I was actually driven to you by your funnel because I thought that you were very genuine in that funnel. And I think the simplicity of what you can put together can drive us through the next level of features that you guys are putting together. And so for me, for example, it will be a lot more beneficial to start up understanding the simplicity of your product to set up the e-com that I want to set up. And so then when I get that done, I want to be able to tap into all the wonderful things that the CRM will offer. Because if I right now get into the CRM and building the e-com, I'm going to get lost and you're going to lose me. And I don't want that to happen in this relationship that is starting. And so I want to definitely take advantage of the opportunity to be able to learn from you how to set up my e-com, right? And so then I can obviously start discovering the good things that I can integrate into the CRM that are going to be beneficial for me and my customers. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with you on that, Abel, because I know once you get immersed in the launch cart community, there is a lot going on. And we do, I think, have so many different offers or, coaches that serve the beginners and the experts. So I think with these calls, we're trying to meet everyone, like the beginner and the expert. And that's why we are getting back to doing the 4-day challenges to serve people who are just getting in, whether maybe they've been in e-commerce, whether they've been in print on demand, but it's also really good for people who are like, I'm really new in the game. I've been hearing about it. I need you to walk me through and really hold my hand. So we try to have these trainings, but like these calls, and then like on the Launch Cart Facebook group and our 4-day challenges, that's where we hopefully will be much slower and really get you, just walking through the motions of, okay, you're starting here, now let's get you here, but we're going to walk you through each of those steps.
Great. And so when does that start?
So I sent the link and that starts in 5 days. So it starts on October 3rd at 11 a.m. PST. So once again, this 4-day challenge is to really get you set up on the Launchcart platform. And we do touch a little bit on the CRM. And the reason why we don't touch fully on it is because we're trying to get you set up on one platform first and get you confident. And then we'll, you know, and that's why we kind of today's trainings on the CRM for those who are ready to start dabbling into that. But that will be on October 3rd, and it's just for the Launchcart e-commerce platform and setting up your own print-on-demand merch store.
That's fabulous. I think that's the beginning of, that's the start point. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Abel. And just for any of those who, you know, heard that too, that's why I still encourage you to show up to calls like these, even if you're like, I'm a little overwhelmed because I haven't touched the CRM, I'm not ready for it, but I'm all about law of exposure and still being in student mentality. And I remember growing up, my mom would always be like, Candace, why do you like to go to events with your dad? Like when I was younger, because she'd be like, do you even understand what's going on or what's being said? And even to this day, I'm like, sometimes I still don't know what's really going on or being said. I don't understand the verbiage, but I still like to just be sitting in these conversations in these rooms to kind of have that aspiration of, oh, I'm going to get there. I'm going to be there. So even if you're like, I'm just not there yet, still show up to these calls. So you're going to get there, and then show up to our Facebook trainings. Because when we do our Facebook trainings and these challenges, we're really trying to simplify it. We're trying to dumb it down and get those beginners at that, you know, intermediate expert level.
Yes. Awesome. And thank you, Abel, for sharing that. It's really appreciated. And again, we have this wide range. I come from the CRM side and understanding and doing the automations and building the funnels and things like that. So if it's helpful, as I'm building out a couple of these, you know, personal brands, I can certainly do a walkthrough as I'm building some of the products and the funnels, and, you know, from simple to complex. And then we'll be releasing, I'm still getting, I don't have a specific answer on when the CRM trainings, they should be done by today or tomorrow. So I think that it's in a matter of days, you guys will have access to those getting started right now. A walkthrough training would be great. Awesome. Yeah, I have no problem in doing that. I can go from a simple, here's the opt-in form, here's a lead magnet and what that is and why it needs to be there. Maybe even getting some of those hero type funnels in, and also some of the automations that I use for every single client that I onboard. And then with the challenges, I love because they are a implement at the speed of education type of learning, and they are really what motivated like my sister to say, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna go. So I encourage you to go and do that and sign up for those. That way you can jump in, and some of it's going to be, you know, very beginner, and some of it's going to go, oh, I didn't realize that I needed to do that, and let me go ahead. And some of you guys will implement within minutes, and some of you will implement a little bit longer time.
Yes. And then Abel, are you going to I see your question, or do you want to ask another question?
Yes. Is there some recordings that we can tap? Because precisely the point that Mavi just pointed out, you're going to be at a spotlight on those challenges, explaining a few things, right? And so I think the question is there a way that I can tap into previous recordings so that I can prepare better for those and come out of the challenge already with my e-com?
Yeah. So, well, two things. The first thing is you can definitely go to our YouTube channel, Launchcart, and there's a lot of past trainings. You just have to kind of sift through, read the titles on the Launchcart YouTube. If you already set up your Launchcart store and you're in the back end of your Launchcart store, right on the dashboard, there is a quick start guide. And those are a series of shorter videos. So you can click through each of them and watch them. But just know the second point is the 4-day challenge. We will be going quick. I will be transparent in that. But it is the challenge where we're going to go through it, and then the goal is for you to have those videos, and then, you know, after the training, go watch the video again. Like, we're going to literally be walking you through how to do step-by-step building a Launchcart store. So then the goal is for you to have that video and then pause it, go do it. Pause it, go do it. But if you just want to be a little bit more versed and like so you can attain the information a little bit better, I would just go to the LaunchCart YouTube channel, and then also the dashboard on the back end of your LaunchCart store, and just go to that quick start guide. And yes, Abel. Did that help answer?
Thank you, Candace. Yes, you
Yes.
did. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Thank you.
Of course. And then I just want to go back really quick, and then we'll wrap it up. We are going at over an hour, which is great, but great questions and engagement. Mavi, it'd be great too. Maybe you could just put me in the hot seat and we can go over the basics for that walkthrough for the CRM, but then you can put me in the hot seat of what I've built. Because you guys, I keep forgetting that I'm just learning the CRM as well. Like, and the reason why I keep forgetting is because I've been in it now for like, I would say a couple months, but I've been more active the past like 30 days. And I already feel like I'm getting the hang of it. So I forget, oh yeah, wait, I'm really in that beginner level as well. And I built my very first funnel with a lead magnet, and then, the next page. And then I built a workflow. So Bobby, that could be fun as well. You could just put me in the hot seat.
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll get more. So I want to make sure that everybody has the basics of logging in and, setting up their phone number,
Yeah.
Google My Business and all of that. And then we'll make sure. So I'll make sure, and that information is covered in the videos. I think there are a couple of updates that, maybe don't exactly match. But I was able to follow them and go through with no problem. And have my son do it, and he's a high school student. So I felt confident that it was really, really good training. And then from there, I want to make sure that you guys are able to use it in a functional way, and have some of those automation and some of those pages that we can go through. And then we can get specific, time permitting, as we go through these trainings. I really appreciate that you guys are asking the specific questions that you're asking.
And then, just like Mavi said in the beginning, you can email, like, if you thought of a question after this call, because we're going to do this every Wednesday, correct, Mavi?
Yes, every Wednesday at the same time. It is being recorded. I'll find out where you can access the recording if you're coming in afterwards. And then, again,
I think I see it streaming, so it might be on YouTube, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, email questions. And then I do want to work on, Mavi, and I'll try to do that today, on like a form where we can just text out to you guys and email to you guys, where you can just put the questions there as well. So for some reason, maybe you can't make it next Wednesday, but we'll still get your question answered and you can access that recording. So I do love that idea. And then just better prepares us to kind of go through them, and hopefully, which I love being on here. I know it's been a long call, but then hopefully if we have those questions in advance, we can, be on for like 30 minutes or less, so I know time is money, time is valuable. So we do appreciate you guys for hanging on and sticking with us this whole hour plus.
Yes. Awesome. All right. Well, I will close us out by, saying thank you again. And thank you, Candace, and Greg, for jumping in and spilling the beans and bringing such wonderful energy.
Thank you, Bobby.
I thank you guys for your attention, and I appreciate that you're going forward and doing something in marketing and selling and e-commerce, because I'm super nerdy and geeky about that. And I love every time we get more people that do this, and more people that are finding different ways to express themselves, to make money, and to become, servants of their audience. So congratulations on that. And, again, it's Mavi, MAVI @launchcart.com is my email address. Please feel free to reach out to me and, ask any questions or give me feedback or comments. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Yes.
All right. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And don't forget, remember to join in tomorrow's training. That's the Launch Shops Partner Program.
The Launch Shops.
Please join in and learn about that, especially if you get this and you love it and you are thinking, wow, I think I could make more money helping people, and that I think I could actually be a big help to people. That's where you're going to have the fast track to that. So thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Okay, sounds good. Bye, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording. And then Abel, I'm going to stop the recording. Abel, really quick, I will stay on for that last question if you want to share it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Candice.